my dear taste buddies, be happy! It's me, Sir Johan, and welcome again to our very productive and informative discussion. But before we continue with our new lesson, I want to ask you a question first. Do you believe in perfection? Do you believe in perfect family? Do you believe in perfect relationship? Or do you believe in a perfect life? We constantly hear someone saying there is no perfect in life. And indeed, life is full of imperfections, just like critical challenges we experience in life, like the COVID-19 pandemic. There are instances in our life where we encounter rejections from the people we love. And it hurts so bad, especially when we had invested our time and effort. Just like our lesson for today, wherein we will be talking about imperfections of our productions, particularly on dealing with rejects and calculating the production input and output of our goods or products. But before going further on the discussion of our lesson today, which is calculating the production inputs and outputs, let's have first identify our learning objectives. And these are the following. First, you should be able to define of rejects or surplus items. Second, discuss the bill of materials and explain its importance to food production industry. Third, value the importance of record keeping. And lastly, you should be able to compute for the standard cost unit. More often than not, factory rejects land in Tiangues or factory outlets itself. Rejects are goods that did not meet the quality standards in production as per inspection. These are most common in furniture, clothes, utensils, and shoes. Sometimes, rejects are surplus or overproduced items that are sold at a lower price. However, you need to be careful when buying rejects of food products because this might be stale or no longer safe to eat. Canned goods should not be dented, scratched, or bulgy. Always check labels and expiration dates. Food influences the health of people. Therefore, raw materials used in food production industry must meet the quality standards. This includes the type, quantity, and quality materials needed, and the process performed. It is necessary to determine the quality standards set for product to compute for rejects or spoilage that includes the allowances for labels of waste, spoilage, shrinkage, seepage, evaporation, and leakage. Next up, we're going to talk about the bill of materials. An important tool for manufacturers is the bill of materials, also known as the BOM or the recipe. Bill of materials or the recipe contains the raw materials, quantity, price needed to compute for total cost, waste cost, allowance for rejects, and costing of products. It also shows a summary of the standard quantity required for each unit of product. Bill of materials has multiple purposes, including pricing. A labor and overhead elements can be included in the bill of materials. By listing each raw materials and the associated labor, you can derive a cost for your products. Then, you can compare that to the market price to ensure you will be producing a profit. The second purpose we have, production. The bill of materials or the recipe is the basis for manufacturing the product. It is used for pick sheets and routing. It can also be used for raw materials backflushing. When we say backflushing, it is a process of determining the number of parts that must be subtracted from inventory records. This number is computed by referring to the number of parts withdrawn from the inventory and the number of parts assumed to have been consumed in a manufacturing line at one or more deduct points. Lastly, the third purpose for the bill of materials is Purchasing. The BOM is used to forecast the raw materials demand based on the quantity of finished products that needs to be produced. Again, the multiple purposes of bill of materials or the recipe are pricing, the production, and the purchasing. Next up, why is bill of materials or the recipe important in manufacturing? By now, you must have got a fair idea about how critical a role manufacturing BOM plays in the development of any product. In fact, you simply cannot manufacture a product without a recipe. It helps the process manufacturers manage and oversee resources and identify materials to reduce wasteful spending by providing them with accurate information, which also facilitates better decision-making to manufacture cost-effective and efficient products. Now, let's take a look at exactly why bill of materials is so important in manufacturing. First, it will avoid running out of materials. Due to inaccuracy in BOM, the production team runs out of inventory required to build the product, thus resulting in production halts. Second, why bill of materials is important? It will ensure better planning. Quite similar to the point mentioned previously, Recipe offers the process manufacturers with a comprehensive list of what is needed to complete a project. This way, the planners are equipped with all the data they require to chart out a plan as to how long the project will take and how long or how many people need to be involved. The third one, we have time and cost savings. Since a manufacturing BOM lays the foundation for effective inventory management, the manufacturers can ensure the stock is ordered only when it is required. This way, excessive inventory holding costs can be avoided. The fourth one, it will encourages consistency. There are many small businesses where often only one person is responsible for specific areas of production. For such businesses, a manufacturing BOM provides a framework which can be followed by the staff to ensure consistency. The fifth one, it will unite all departments. A bill of materials predominantly ensures that all departments work together as one. Different departments such as design, procurement, production, and sales gives input to ensure the BOMs that created is 100% accurate. The last one, why bill of materials is so important in manufacturing, is convenience. The packaging of finished goods is often done keeping the convenience and the requirements of the end consumers in mind, especially in the process manufacturing industry. For now, I'll be teaching you how to make a bill of materials or recipe. Despite the awesome benefit of using BOMs, it cannot be denied that you have to spend a bit of time putting them together at first. Here's a basic bill of materials example to show how you can get started. Let's go with making papaya pineapple marmalade, simple enough. First job is to list the items or the ingredients that go into making a papaya pineapple marmalade. We need ripe pineapple. It should be finely sliced. Also, we need ripe papaya, sugar, lemon rind grated, and lastly, lemon juice. Okay, I guess we're done then. Time to pack up? Well, not quite yet. There's a few more steps to go through. And the next is to determine how much of each item we need. And we need to be a bit more exact when putting all the ingredients together. So for the pineapple, we need 2 cups. For the papaya, we need also 2 cups. 4 cups of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoon of lemon rind grated, and lastly, 1/4 cups of lemon juice. Brilliant! We know what we need and how much of it. Next up, how much does it cost? When it comes to business, your costs matter a little bit more. So let's go to find out how much is cost or the price of each ingredient. For the pineapple, it costs 160 pesos, 60 pesos for the ripe papaya, 58 pesos for the sugar, 5 pesos for lemon rind, and 15 pesos for lemon juice. In preparing the bill of materials for each product, it is important to calculate the quantity of waste and spoilage and the number of rejects. Summing up will give you the standard quantity required for each unit of product. So that's all we need on how to make a simple bill of materials or product recipe. Again, all you need to do is to list down all the ingredients needed. Second, determine how much of each item you need. And lastly, identify how much the price of each ingredient. As we continue with our discussion, now let's talk about the documentation of calculated data according to enterprise requirements. Record keeping is a basic rule in good manufacturing practice. When we say good manufacturing practice, it is the basic operational and environmental conditions required to produce a safe foods. They ensure that ingredients, products, and packaging materials are handled safely and that food products are processed in a suitable environment. Keep good records gives reference to every material used and quantity. It also helps monitor income and expenses and assess the strong and weak points of the product and process. Good records help in planning and making right decisions that can increase the success of the business. Record keeping can be manual record or electronic record keeping. Nowadays, most businesses use technology for documentation and recording. It provides an efficient way to keep financial records and required less storage space. Here are some importance of recording and documenting production input. First, it gives us a reference data on the materials used together with their correct magnitude. Second, it determines the economic viability of the product. Third, records serve as the basis for planning. Fourth, records greatly help in making right decisions. To sum up all that you've learned, we learned about what's bill of materials and its purposes, as well as its importance. We also learned how to compute for total cost, waste cost, allowance for rejects, and costing of products. That ends our discussion for today. To test whether you learned from our lesson, I want you to answer honestly our formative assessment. For your assessment, choose a food processing formulation or product and prepare the bill of materials. Compute for the cost of each unit. Submit your work using your account through vSmart platform, or for students who are in distance learning with Learning Kit, compile your 1-week output and submit it on the day I will ask you to submit. There you go, my dear taste buddies. I hope you learned much from our discussion today. I'm Sir Yuhan Quadra, your T.L.E teacher, leaving you with a saying by Dalai Lama: the purpose of our lives is to be happy. Take care, God bless, and happy learning!